Good Monday evening, everyone. Welcome to Garden State Weather Premium on YouTube, Garden State Weather on Facebook, Garden State WX, and Garden State WEA on Twitter when available. Didn't do any Twitter today. Too busy with other things. I'm meteorologist Robert Smith, and this is an updated video forecast discussion concerning Friday's, Thursday night and Friday's precipitation here in the New Jersey, New York, Philadelphia I-95 corridor on this President's Day, the 21st of February 2022. Wanted to go into this a little bit further and a little bit more in detail here. We're pretty good model agreement here on the European Model Guidance's ensemble members here and the GFS ensemble members here as we get into Thursday night and Friday for the primary low here over the Ohio River Valley to transfer its energy off of the Delmarva and northern New Jersey coastline into around the New York City area as we head into Friday morning here. And as we can see this by Friday afternoon, the low is consolidated right south shore and east ends of Long Island here out over the coastal waters. That is the European model guidances, and the 18C GFS ensemble is also showing the same thing, with the primary getting into Pennsylvania and a secondary, and then eventually off the southern New England coast. So the model agreement here on the centers looks good. Now we have to get down to the nitty-gritty fine details. Now we're going to be looking at a lot of information here, but the most important thing here is that this is going to be an isentropic lift event. Again, warm air in the upper levels of the atmosphere over a colder dome at the surface. And if we looked at the European model guidance from this morning at 925 millibars, well, this is a rain event for tomorrow, okay? And then we get cold a little bit, okay? And this is the problem for Thursday night and Friday. At 925 millibars at about 3,000 feet, temperatures are below freezing here throughout the New York City area, marginally so across central New Jersey, and then this is all rain in here. This is where the ice condition sets up, because if we switch this over to 850 millibars at about 5,000 feet, we can already see a warming trend occurring as we head into Thursday night, and Friday morning here, where the temperatures are warming aloft, but still at the surface, or primarily near the surface and down to the ground. Actually, this is where the situation is going to become more dire for wintry precipitation types in the form of freezing rain, sleet, and some snow on the front end, and then switching over to a freezing precipitation mode as we head into Friday morning. North of 78, especially around 80, and points north and west of there. Once again, using the national blend of models here from the National Weather Service. This is a composite of many models, both in-house and out-of-house, of the National Weather Service's product suite. And when we're looking at FRAM, which is the ice that is occurring on elevated surfaces, different from freezing rain, this is a better parameter to measure the estimate that is fallen onto ground levels or surfaces where it's frozen. So if we get into the forecast by the time we get into, let's say, well, back this up, actually, we don't have to go that far. We can go into Friday here through 7 p.m. And again, if you're in and around the New York City area, you got a couple hundredths of an inch. Yonkers, about 5/100ths of an inch. But it's here through central and northern New Jersey, north of 78 here, where ice is going to accrue. And this is just the ice. This is not the snow. If it's going to snow, it's going to be at the beginning of this before it mixes over with precipitation types here. So, you could be dealing with a couple of inches here. And the further north you go from 80 north and west here, you could be dealing with 3-4 inches of snow, not out of the question. The big problem here is the sleet and ice component to this storm. You're really going to have to head up into New York State, northern New England here for appreciable snowfall totals. But this is an ice situation here and a rain situation from the city and south, maybe initially starting out with a burst of snow and some sleet. But the big problem here is over the interior, west of the I-95 corridor and north of 78 and 80. This doesn't look like a winter storm criteria here for winter storm warnings, that is, for Friday, Thursday night and Friday. But definitely this does look like a winter weather advisory for the New Jersey, New York City metropolitan area. And it could become a winter storm watch or warning here further north from, let's say, the Poconos into southeastern New York, interior Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts here. That has to be refined and worked out by our office here in Boston and our offices here in Philly and the New York City metropolitan area. Looking at the latest European high-resolution model guidance, now it's getting out into the 90-hour period, so we're getting a better handle on what the model guidance is suggesting here. And this would be for total snow here as we get into 7 a.m. on Friday morning. So we could be looking at about a half to over an inch, and in some areas here along 80, maybe 3 inches, maybe up to 4 inches further north in northwestern Morris County. You get into Sussex County, you could be dealing with 4 or 5 inches of snow. Again, this is preliminary. This is all going to change depending on how much cold air is in place and how fast the changeover occurs with the precipitation type. And if we're looking at the European model guidances out to that time period, also, again, this is, a serious situation with the ice situation, freezing rain and sleet accumulating a frozen precipitation coating on the ground. You could be dealing with a quarter of an inch in spots, especially as you get down towards Bridgewater and Allentown here into southern Morris County here. This is a pretty dangerous situation to be out on the road, so I'm sure they're, the DOT departments are going to be on this. Afternoon run of the GFS here for the FRAM, the ice accumulating here. Again, this is a pretty dangerous situation here, especially around Allentown, Bridgewater, and points north here. This is serious icing concern here, so this could bring down some power lines too and some tree limbs if the ice is going to be accumulating at this kind of a rate here. So that's something that we're going to have to watch out for as well in the power outage department. Freezing rain on the GFS this afternoon. Again, this is pretty high. There's nothing to laugh about here. Looking at the 500 millibar pattern off the GFS, going forward out to the next 10-15 days here, it's going to be a swing of temperatures and wind profiles across the country. Here's that dome of cold air coming down from a piece of the polar vortex here as we head into the last day of the month here. And again, this was a question mark for a storm on Sunday and Monday. I'm not so sure that that's going to be set up correctly because of what we talked about earlier, where this is going to be kicked out here by these features here. So we're not so sure about that, but the GFS is also indicating another system here, some kind of a storm signal here. I'm not so sure if that's going to work out because this is going to be very transitory in this upper air pattern. As you can see, 500 millibar heights are lowering again in the west, and that is supported by the EPA that we've talked about. Yeah. And again, for Sunday night and Monday, this is something that has been all over Twitter and Facebook and many other areas here. Here's the European model guidance from this morning. The GFS is a little bit further to the north with this precipitation shield as this area of low pressure along the old frontal boundary on Sunday and Monday heads out into the ocean of the Atlantic here. And on the north side, it's showing snow down into Virginia and southern New Jersey and even to the coast here. That's the European model guidance. Now, if we took a look at the GFS and move this along, this is what it's showing now for Monday night, Sunday night, and Monday here. It has the wave a little bit further off the coast and a little bit more of a cold situation to the north here of the Chesapeake and into the New York City area. So again, this is something we're going to monitor, and then cold air filters in again by early next week. So there is a storm signal here for Sunday night and Monday, but the signal is not complete just yet. Let's see if I can pull this up off the GFS now. This is what we're looking at here is the 24-hour snowfall. So let's bypass Friday, Tuesday, and Friday's event here because Tuesday's event is rain. Friday's event is a mix. And now we get into Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, and it's showing snow here on the GFS okay, across the New Jersey, New York City metropolitan area. So this is something in this signal that we're going to have to monitor, and probably, let's do European model guidance from this morning because this goes out further. And we'll do the 24-hour snow totals here as we approach Sunday night and Monday. And as you can see, European model guidance is much further south with the extent of this. So this, again, this is a signal that we're going to have to monitor and focus on. Again, this is well out of our time frame of guidance correctiveness. So the big takeaway here is for Thursday night and particularly Friday morning during morning commute here. And this is going to be an icy situation, I'm sure. We're going to have winter weather advisories in this area here for ice accumulation from front-end snow and then mixing with sleet and freezing rain as the system wraps up off the New Jersey and southern New England coastal waters during Friday afternoon. But beforehand, this is going to be a serious situation, and it's one where we can have additional strain on power, utilities, and as well as trees with ice accretion actually over these surfaces could bring down some power and also some branches and wires as well. So this is something that we're going to be monitoring very closely over the next couple of days.